Hey guys, Triple J Boxing. All I gotta say is damn. Big Bang Zhang. What a nice knockout, I gotta say. That was that was just such a nice right hand. The way he set it up with the straight left and just hooked it. He knew Joyce was going to go to that side after he threw the straight left. If you actually watch the sequences throughout the whole fight leading up to the knockout, he was baiting him with the left and he was trying to get him to run into the right, and it happened. And I don't know, Joyce, he wasn't sitting down on his shots, and even in the first fight, he wasn't sitting down on his shots enough. He just doesn't put enough power into his shots. And he was so tentative and worried about getting hit, especially getting hit with the left hand, that he didn't focus on offense enough. He really never even threw a very hard shot throughout the whole fight. He was just throwing light, pity-pat shots, like jabs and stuff. Some left hooks, but nothing with any power on it. And pretty much his problem was he was worried so much about getting hit, yet that he was getting hit. Like, because his defense, like, it was kind of funny because Bradley brought up the fact that it's like he got taught by a mechanic. That's what his trainer was, because he got into boxing late, Joyce, and it's like his first teacher was a mechanic. That's who taught him how to box. And it's kind of true. He's like his defense is terrible, his technique is terrible, his mechanics is terrible, and I thought that was kind of funny, because it's kind of true when you actually watch the way, like, his defense is terrible, and if you're going to do something right, at least focus on your offense if you got no defense. And he didn't do either. And that's why it results in you getting knocked out, because you're so worried about getting knocked out, you get knocked out. And I don't know, it would have been better if he just sold out and went for, like, sat down on his shots, put some power into your shots. I don't know what he was just so worried about getting hit in the eye with the left hand, and then who'd have thought the right hook would put him to sleep? Literally fell right on a pillow. Like, he was knocked out for a couple seconds, and then he recovered surprisingly quick. It was kind of similar to the Tyson Fury Wilder knockdown in the 12th round, where it looked like he was, like, completely gone, and then he just started to rise up, but the ref waved it off. It was kind of like it was pretty much similar to the Tyson Fury. They got up on, like, 9, and then the ref waved it off, except he fell face forward where Tyson Fury fell on his back. But the only difference between the huge difference between the Tyson Fury and Wilder and the Joyce and Zhang is that Tyson Fury was having success throughout that whole fight, and actually, like, you could actually, like, you could see, like, why the ref would give him a chance, even though, like, he looked like he rose like the Undertaker. That was just nuts. If you go back and watch that, if you haven't seen that fight, guys, I highly recommend watching the Wilder Fury trilogy. Best heavyweight fights I've seen in my lifetime. But yeah, so the big difference between these fights, Tyson Fury and Joyce, is that Tyson Fury was actually doing good stuff. He was actually winning the fight, whereas Joyce was not doing much here. And it was so early. It was round 3 that he got knocked out in. And even with the round 1 and 2, he wasn't really, like, sure, round 1 he might have won it, but it's just because Zhang was just downloading the data and trying to figure out, okay, what's his game plan? He was just going to adjust, right? And so I would say Joyce won the first round on activity, but he never threw any hard shots. It was just all pity pat and jabs and light shots. I don't know what he didn't look good at all, and the extra weight made him look even worse. He looked better in the first fight. He definitely looked, at least in the first fight, he was still, like, I don't like how he doesn't put a lot of power in a lot of his shots, but in the first fight, at least sometimes he was putting more power in his shots. This time he wasn't putting any shot with power on it. And that's why Zhang was just didn't care anything about what was coming back, really. After round one, he was just, that was it. He didn't respect Joe Joyce's power. He was just walking forward. And he figured it out that Zhang is smart, because he figured it out that Joe Joyce was worried about the left hand, the straight left hand. So he threw the left hand for the knockout, and he knew he was going to go to to his left or his right. I don't know, depending on where you are, I guess. But he knew he was gonna run him into the right hand. So he threw the left hand with not all his power, so he could throw the right hand with all his power. He still put power into the left hand, but the main shot was the right. That was the end of the combination, and he knew that. And that shot was devastating. Like, that was a devastating knockout. That was beautiful. Like, there's no other words to really say that. Like, seeing that live, that was a beautiful, crisp. It was set up so nice. It kind of, actually, now that I think about it, it kind of reminds me of the Lomachenko-Rocky Martinez knockout. Lomachenko knocked Martinez out with a shot like that. I'm pretty sure it was Martinez, right? It was kind of like that. A right hook just sent him crashing to the canvas. Except the difference between this is Zhang put this guy to sleep, whereas I think Lomachenko, he didn't quite put him to sleep, but he was like, it was devastating. Zhang, those 280. And I'm surprised Joe Joyce even got up, to be honest. Ref still waved it off, but there was a possibility that the ref could have let it run on a little bit longer, because I think he got up at like 9, but it wouldn't have mattered, because he would have got, it maybe would have been dangerous to his health, to be honest. I think that was a great stoppage. He was providing nothing. Like, if he was doing good in the fight, maybe the ref would have let him, but Joe Joyce wasn't doing shit. I was wrong, guys. I picked him by decision, but it was like a toss-up. I said him by decision or Zhang by knockout. I did say that if you go back to my prediction when the weigh-in video, when I react to the weigh-in. I did say either Joe Joyce by decision or Zhang by knockout, but I had to pick one, and I picked Joe Joyce by decision because I thought maybe he was just going to come back, and it was just the eye closed up. That's why he lost the fight, because it looked like Zhang was gassing out a little bit, and he was coming on in the first fight, later in the fight. But I guess no, he got worse. He put on way too much weight. He weighed 282, way too much for him, obviously. He was even slower. I was just talking about this, guys, too. Never put on weight just to match another guy's weight because you think you have to. Like, just be yourself. Fight at your natural, your comfortable weight. Wilder made the same mistake when he tried putting on loads of weight to face Fury. And look what happened there. He did way better in the first fight because he was 214. That's what he naturally weighs. But no, he tried going up to 230. Like, no, you don't do that, guys. It doesn't work out. And you're starting to see Canelo actually be kind of slow too, because he's put on more weight than he should probably for his body frame. So putting on weight doesn't mean you're going to be better, guys. Like, it's just, it doesn't equate to that. And I like what Tim Bradley said too. He said just because you put on weight doesn't mean you're going to have better punch resistance. Like, your chin is going to be stronger. That's not the case. It's just genetics. It's just some people can take a punch better than others. It's conditioning too. Like, just because you put on some extra pounds, why would you take a punch better, right? Like, yeah, so I thought it was, it ended so quick, so there's not much really to review about it. It just looked like Zhang was kind of just figuring him out for the first 2 rounds, and then he figured him out, and he knew he was going to run him into the right hook, which he did, and it was devastating and it was beautiful. Joe Joyce, his problem was he put on too much weight. He was slow. Defense is terrible. Hands are down, except he had the hand in front, like the backhand, to protect the straight left, but he was still getting hit with the straight left, to be honest. Maybe not as much as the first one, but he didn't need to because Zhang was just going to set him up for one knockout shot. So Zhang figured him out in the first fight, and he brought it over to this fight. Joe Joyce just never sat down on his punches. He never gained respect of Zhang. I don't know, like, you can't fight and not put power in your shots. You can't just throw your shots with so tentatively. You're not going to win a fight like that. So that was Joe Joyce's problem. He just wasn't sitting down on his shots. He was too worried about getting hit, and his worrying led to him getting hit and getting knocked out. So I want to, and at the end of the fight, so I believe Zhang's at the top now. This is the way, what he showed here, the IQ he showed by setting that shot up was just, and the fact that he's a massive 280-pound man, 6'9", like, this guy can compete with the top guys like Joshua, Usyk, Tyson Fury. He called out Tyson Fury at the end of the fight. He said, "Tyson Fury, I'm going to shut you up." And then Chinese fans were like all going crazy and stuff. I want to see that fight because he's actually bigger than Fury. I think he's not as tall, maybe, I guess they were saying, Bernardo Osuna said, but I don't know. I got to check that on BoxRec. Aren't they like around the same height? But he weighs more than Fury right now, I think. 287, whereas Fury came in at did he come in at 276 against Wilder in his last fight? Or I think his last fight, he came in at 270 something again, or who was it? Chisora or something. Anyway, he usually weighs around like 270, I think. So that means that Zhang will be heavier than Tyson Fury, depending if Fury wants to put on more weight going into the fight. So that's just crazy. Like, I want to see these two giants go at it. That would be huge. Like, the marketing poster for that would just be something about their size, you know that, because they're just... The heavyweight division is just turning into, like, it used to be like you were 200, 220, then 240 was big, now 250 was big. Now that's small. You need to be 270, 280. Like, come on now. And that's why I kind of like Wilder, though, because he weighs, like, so little. He weighs 214, and he's knocking dudes out. So you got to respect Wilder for that. But anyway, guys, let me know what you guys think about this fight. I think Zhang deserves to get a title shot now, which this was a spot for the WBO mandatory, I think. It was the interim title. And Usyk has that belt, obviously, but he has a possibility to beat these guys, I gotta say, as long as he doesn't gas out and stuff, and he can, because this man's got power, he's got technique, and he has ring IQ, and he knows how to set up his shots. So I want to see him fight Tyson Fury, Usyk, and Joshua, I think, and Wilder, Ruiz. These are all great fights. This just opens up the heavyweight division so much more. And this guy is going to bring so much more of an audience, like the 100 million Chinese people who are probably watching him. So it's bringing way more attention to boxing. So this is good. The heavyweight division just got another name in it, and it's Big Bang Zhang. Thanks for watching, guys.